World's most elite snipers. It sounds like something straight out of a movie, but this incredible tale is absolutely true, and it features a man named Jim Gilliland. Our story takes place at a military shooting competition. Picture the scene. The best of the best are there, including highly trained Navy SEAL snipers. These are operators at the peak of their craft, armed with state-of-the-art equipment. Each shot a testament to years of rigorous training and real-world experience. The atmosphere is full of focus and professionalism. Everyone present is a master of their domain, and competition is fierce. Then, into this high-stakes environment walks Jim Gilliland. Jim wasn't a soldier or a special operator. He was a mechanic, a civilian contractor working on base. His job was to fix vehicles, to keep the engines running and the wheels turning. By all accounts, he was a regular guy, known for his skill with a wrench, not a rifle. He was there simply doing his job, surrounded by the elite of the military world. During the competition, Gilliland was watching the SEALs practice. He observed them firing at a target, an incredible 1,000 yards away. That's nearly a kilometer. To that into perspective, it's the length of 10 football fields. Hitting a target at that distance requires an immense amount of skill, accounting for wind, gravity, and even the rotation of the Earth. The snipers were using a powerful 300 Winchester Magnum rifle. After watching for a while, Jim, with friendly and unassuming demeanor, walked over to one of the SEALs. And this is where the legendary moment happens. He asked a question that would go down in shooting lore. Can I borrow your rifle for a minute? You can imagine the scene. The highly trained sniper, probably a bit surprised, looked at this mechanic, perhaps with a bit of amusement, or maybe just out of sheer curiosity. He agreed. He handed over his very expensive, perfectly calibrated rifle to this civilian who fixed trucks for a living. The other SEALs likely watched on, wondering what was about to happen. Was this guy just curious? Did he even know how to handle such a weapon? What had it? Something no one could. Jim Gilliland took a rifle, some wiring position, and it. He was using any secret from. He was just a guy who knew his way around firearms from a lifetime of experience as a civilian shooter and hunter. He took his time, breathed, and squeezed the trigger. His first shot, a direct hit, right on the 1,000-yard target. This was no shot. Hit targets at that range was like the mark of truly exceptional marksman. It wasn't just the target, it was the precision of the shot that was so shocking. One of the SEALs, impressed but maybe thinking it was a fluke, probably said something like, "Okay, nice shot, do it again." So Jim did it again. Another shot, another perfect hit. Then he fired a third time. The result was the same. 3 shots, 3 consecutive hits on a target 1,000 yards away with a borrowed rifle he'd never held before. He had just achieved a 3-round group, and the shots were clustered so tightly together that it was a display of marksmanship that would make even most seasoned sniper nod in respect. In that moment, Jim Gilliland wasn't just a mechanic. He had just done something that many trained professionals struggle to do. He had demonstrated a raw natural talent that was simply undeniable. He didn't just match the SEALs. In that brief impromptu session, he outshot them. So how was this possible? Well, Jim Gilliland wasn't just any mechanic. He was also a highly accomplished competitive shooter in his civilian life. He had spent years honing his skills, not in military training camps, but on shooting ranges, driven by a personal passion for precision and marksmanship. He had a deep, intuitive understanding of ballistics and the fundamentals of shooting that transcended formal training. His story became a legend within the special operations community. It's a powerful reminder that expertise can be found in the most unexpected places. It shows that passion, dedication, and natural talent can often rival years of formal, institutionalized training. The SEALs, far from being resentful, were incredibly impressed. They recognized a master when they saw one, regardless of his uniform or job title. In fact, they were so impressed that they sought out his expertise. Gilliland later became a respected instructor, sharing his knowledge and helping to train some of America's most elite soldiers. The mechanic who asked to borrow a rifle ended up teaching the snipers how to shoot even better. His company, Gilliland's C&H Precision Weapons, went on to build custom long-range rifles, some of which have been used by military personnel. The story of Jim Gilliland is more than just a cool anecdote. It's a lesson about humility and recognizing skill wherever it exists. It's about how a quiet professional, focused on his craft, can achieve extraordinary things. It breaks down the stereotype that you need to be part of an elite The room was a pressure cooker of ambition, filled with the top 1% of Air Force pilots, all vying for a coveted spot in the legendary Valkyrie Squadron. Among them was Lieutenant Eva Restova, a young woman whose calm demeanor. A squadron of advanced F-16s was ambushed. Outnumbered 3-1, their systems jammed, their fate all but sealed. As their commander gave the grim order to eject, a lone Su-25 appeared on their screens, a ghost out of the storm. The Phantom danced through enemy fire, drawing away the attackers with impossible maneuvers. Buying the F-16's precious seconds to reboot and escape. The pilot who survived that day, now a decorated colonel in the room, stared at Eva, his face pale with shock. The general finally broke silence, his voice barely a whisper. "The Zarian pass. That was you." Eva simply nodded. "Yes, sir." Another story surfaced in the minds of the senior officers. A rescue mission gone wrong. A special forces team was pinned down. Their evac helicopter shot down. Surrounded, all contact was lost. The mission was declared a failure. But 3 days later, the team walked back to base, exhausted but alive. They spoke of a low-flying frogfoot that provided cover fire with pinpoint accuracy, a phantom that held back an entire battalion long enough for them to slip through the cracks. But the pilot of that downed helicopter, now a flight instructor, looked at Eva as if he was seeing a ghost. Volkov leaned forward, his hands gripping the edge of the table. The Black Sea incident. The freighter, the Odyssey. Naval intelligence said it was an unregistered vessel that sank in a storm. But my sources said otherwise. They said it was a covert arms transport, and our spies were trapped on board. They said a single plane held off an enemy fleet for 37 minutes until our extraction team arrived. A plane that wasn't supposed to be there. The room was electric. These weren't just war stories. They were modern myths, tales of a guardian angel in a clunky old jet. A pilot who flew not for glory or medals, but for lives of their comrades. A pilot who shunned spotlight, who never claimed a single victory, but whose only signature was the silence that followed their departure. Eva stood her ground, her expression unchanging. "I was in the area, sir. I saw people who needed help." Her simple, understated words were more powerful than any boastful claim. She wasn't a glory hound. She was a protector, a shepherd. The Iceman stared at her for a long moment, the gears turning in his mind. The brash, arrogant faces around the room finally understood. They flew for kill counts, for prestige, for the thrill of the fight. Eva Rosova flew for them. General Volkov stood up, his chair scraping against the floor. The sound was deafening in the silence. He walked around the table and stopped directly in front of Eva. The room held its breath. He wasn't looking at a rookie anymore. He was looking at a legend. He extended his hand. "Lieutenant, no, Phantom." He said the name with a newfound reverence. "Welcome to the Valkyries. You're not just flying with us. You're leading the first wing." A wave of murmurs turned into a roar of approval. The pilots, once dismissive, were now on their feet, their applause thundering through the hall. They weren't just clapping for a new member. They were welcoming a myth into their ranks. But the colonel who had been saved at Zarian Pass was the first saluter, his eyes filled with gratitude, 20 years in the making. Eva finally allowed a small smile to touch her lips. She had come here hoping to prove she was good enough. She had left as a living legend, the quiet storm at the heart of the Air Force's most elite squadron. The Phantom had finally come in from the cold. Thank you so much for watching. It's stories like these that truly inspire. If you enjoyed this journey, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more incredible tales. Don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next one.